introduce yourself as a okay. It seems that we had some kind of trouble, so it seems that we are just now starting the live stream, as I see. So let's make a short introduction again. So because I see that we are just around 10 seconds live. Milice, can you please repeat just a couple of words about yourself, please? Sorry
Yes,
for
of
that.
course. Yes, of course. Hello, everyone who is watching. Hello to my today's interlocutors. My name is Milica, and I'm the marketing manager at Fiscal Solutions. Today, we will talk about interesting topics, and I must
Yes.
admit that I'm really, really excited to talk about them. So let's go.
Thank you very much. Don't worry. Sorry for this small technical problem, but it seems that our platform is telling us a little bit late that we are online. Roland, 5 words about yourself, please.
My name is Roland. My
3.
name is Roland. It's a four. It's a four, yes.
That's it.
That's it. I'm technical guy. Many years together with colleagues. I have a lot of experience in the different projects. So we can talk about future trends today.
Nice to have you here. But before we start talking about the future, let me talk a little bit about the history, because last time in our last live session, I promised something. I promised to bring my first computer that I had. And trust me, I have it with me. But before I show you, I would like to ask you if you know what is that?
Actually, I don't know.
Yes. Okay. So this is a very old device, and I'm sure Roland knows it good.
Yes.
It's a floppy disk. Can you imagine that? No USB, nothing. It's a floppy disk. That's what we use. And my first PC was this guy. So this is the
Really?
C64, so means Commodore 64, and this is everything, this is nothing more. So this is the central unit and the keyboard integrated like nowadays. So if you buy computers now, everything is integrated. 35 years ago it was also integrated, but a little bit bigger, of course. And this was my first computer, and trust me, this guy is still working. So maybe I will turn it on next time if I install the TV over there. So this will be interesting for sure as well. Roland, you remember this old guys?
Yes. I had similar, and it was. Last time I mentioned that it was. I think it was 86 when I bought this device. And interesting at that, and 1 year before, the first PC-based POS hardware was introduced. It was an IBM 4683, I think, as I remember, model. And it was a first PC-based dedicated POS cash register. And it was also dedicated operating system. If you remember, the DOS was not good for integration in retail because it was a limitation for the serial ports, and also it was a limitation for the concurrent execution of different programs. So it was a specific version of the DOS.
Can I
Yes,
ask
but
something?
please.
Is here anyone who doesn't know what is this? Because I don't.
But look at the chat. We have several guys who recognized the floppy disk, the floppy drive. So Rolf recognized it and Darian recognized it. So guys, you are my generation.
Yes.
That's good. So
I think
Generation Z.
The model was 1501, the floppy disk model.
I'm not sure. I just know that the floppies were like that. So the really big guys.
On YouTube, yeah.
Yes.
On Google.
So, but today we will not talk about the history anymore. Maybe next time again. Today we will talk about the future. So, Milica, it's more your topic, I think. So,
yeah, thank you.
let me give you first an overview about what are the trends as we understand it. So, the trends are interesting topics that everybody is talking about and that everybody is somehow trying and testing how to work with them. Everything. So it doesn't mean that you have I think lots of installations or something like that. If yes, then it's not trend anymore. Then it's real life already. So the trends is something like a future, something that everybody maybe likes to have, and maybe it will come. So these are the topics that we will talk about today, and we will create a top 10 of those trends that we see in 2022. As we are a fiscal solutions company which are working with lots of leading retailers around the world and lots of POS software vendors, these companies are talking to us and asking us, hey, can you do, I don't know, pick and go in Romania? Or can you do, I don't know, self-scanning in Bulgaria? Of course, they have to know this because of the laws which are over there, and that's why they are asking us. And we are, of course, that's why getting the information, what is the topic that everybody is talking about? And out of those topics, out of those inputs, we created our own top 10 list of the trends that we are expecting in the next year. So let's start with the first one, and it is related definitely to the contactless payment. Roland, it's a topic that you are mostly working on, right?
Yes, yes. So I will say it's not related only just to payment. It's related to COVID because a lot of trends
Sure.
which are today active, they are somehow connected and related to COVID. And I think this is the biggest driver today for the change in the retail because we have a lot of cashierless, contactless requests for different operation. And of course, one of already popular, and it will be for sure the trend in next years. It will be the contactless payment. We saw in the last year it was a booming of the usage of the contactless payments. It was a several type of contactless payment which are already popular, and I think more and more used by the different retailers. So contactless payment, it's a way of paying that we don't need to touch it or scan or give a cash on the cashier. So one of the most popular and first was introduced, it was a contactless enabled credit cards and debit cards. But I will say it's not pure contactless because if the amount which has to be paid, it's over a certain amount, then you need to use a PIN pad, so you already have a contact. But the real contactless payment, we can say we can use a mobile wallets where we have a Google Pay and Apple Pay, where we have a signed card, and we can then, by using the near field communication, perform payment without having any kind of touch with the device in the store. This is very popular. And also we have, for example, in some countries, a QR code. It's a QR code payment. I saw this in China. We were 2 years ago in China with Arco together, and we saw that everywhere only the QR codes used. Even we had a very big problem to try to pay with a card, even in the big shopping malls. And on the other side, the QR code was very popular. And I was surprised because in Europe, it's not, the QR codes are not so popular. Today, we have already in some countries. In Serbia, we can use it, and I saw it's growing. But I suppose in other countries in Europe, but I didn't experience so much because I did not travel in the last years. But actually, these are the popular payments. In Germany, Darko, do you know the QR codes are used often?
You can use them definitely, but it's not that common. So I think the German system and environment is still quite a cash related. Now, of course, due to pandemic, there is more and more cashless payment. And I was surprised even that some weeks ago I had to, or I configured on my phone, of course, Apple Pay, Apple Payment, and but together with the Volksbank. So this means the banks in Germany are already introducing, let's say, those more or less contactless payments like Apple Pay, maybe some of them, that's what I know, maybe some of them Google Pay as well, I don't know. But it's a really common that you use the cards nowadays without PIN, of course, and of course phone as well. So I think the next year we will see it as a really big trend. If I compare it with China that you just mentioned, I think the Chinese world is totally crazy about that. So they are almost not using cash at all. And I'm expecting the same trend, and even next year in Germany and in Europe as well, for sure. Yeah, but I think it's closely related, and due to pandemic situation, closely related to the cashless payment or contactless payment is, of course, scan and go as well. What do you think about that? Because I think scan and go is definitely something which is popping up due to pandemic reasons as well.
Yes. So I think we have a comment for the Germany.
Just
So
a second,
bank
just a
account-
second.
yeah.
Here's another very interesting comment. Yes, Commerzbank is enabling contactless payment directly with Girocard as well. Definitely. So I'm the customer of the Volksbank, so I know that these guys are doing that, but you see Commerzbank as well. So it seems that it's getting really, really used in Germany as well. Thank you for that. Sorry, Roland.
No. Okay, so no, now we in the trend number 2.
Yes.
We can say
Scan and go.
Scan and go, yes. But this scan and go, it's related to self-scanning concept, which is existing many years. And I remember I was even with you, I think in Ahold in Utrecht, yeah. And I just today tried to find a picture, and I was surprised it was on 2010, so it's already 11 years. So it was a long time ago, but it was really impressive. So it was an installation in Ahold where they have the logic scanners, and they use the logic scanners to scan, and it was a checkout till for the payment. But it's already old concept. But with using the mobile phone and the new infrastructure, there is a new wave for this kind of shopping. Yes, and today the self-scanning with the mobile phones became more and more popular, especially because together with the contactless payment, it can be treated as a cashierless or checkoutless concept. So this concept usually have following steps. So the customer is go to the store, can identify himself, then using his mobile phone to scan items. After the items are scanned, he go on exit, and there is usually some gate which has to be also scanned for identification, and that moment the payment will be performed. They also may introduce some checkings in some times, or maybe some customers, and it simply have a concept that they can finish complete shopping without any interaction with the cashier. So I think this is a very good approach, and it's became very popular. So what is also interesting that this kind of concept doesn't require the big infrastructure, because actually the infrastructure is provided by the customers. So I think this kind of implementation will also make a cashier less or checkout less concept much more acceptable for the not just for the big player, also for the smaller retailers. And I think it will be the clear trend that we will see a many installation with this concept. I also try to check how many there exist. So currently I found that there is about 20,000 stores running with this concept in Europe. And the US, it's, for example, have a half of this amount of installation.
It's more in Europe than in US.
Yes, it's a double size, yes.
Interesting. I thought that the trends are mostly more, let's say, starting. Usually, in nowadays, I see the trends popping up in China and Asia environment, let's say, then in US, and then in Europe. But this is now turning around the situations.
I find several places these numbers, and it seems that Europe leading somewhere. So at least leading with the self.
Good for us.
Concept. Yeah, for us 1 point.
I see just John is commenting that this is just repeating. Yes, the concept of self-scanning is really, really old. At that time, we called it self-scanning at the end. And you had to identify yourself by entering the store, you're getting the device and doing all the self-scanning magic. Nowadays, the only difference is that you are using your own device, and that's it. But I think the time is quite good in order to start to use the phones. And to be honest, that nowadays the phones are much more powerful than every POS system which is installed somewhere. So there is usually no reason for POS if you have the magic of the computing in your hand or in your pocket. So that's why, yes, the systems and their history is repeating. But there will be definitely no POS system like C64 that I showed you. So this part of history will not be repeated, I'm sure, but maybe on the mobile side. Roland, you just mentioned the pick and go concept, and maybe people know it a little bit more as an Amazon concept, but actually it's a pick and go concept. Tell us a little bit more about that, because I strongly believe that this is coming, and I'm sure it's coming. Give me, please, your opinion about it.
Yes, so the pick and go, it's from my point of view, it's the most advantage, innovative and impressive checkout concepts. The customer can simply walk in, shop, and take purchase straight from the supermarket without having to queue and the checkout and go out. So it's very convenient. And when I first time saw the movie, it was like in science fiction. So at that time we talked about different concepts of checkout, and we realized this is the best because it's no checkout at all. So it was really impressive when I first time saw it. So actually this concept, actually it's quite complex for implementation. It includes artificial intelligence, facial recognitions, different sensors, IoT, so monitors, monitoring shoppers and everything. So it's quite complex for implementation. I also check out what was the price. And the first installation, what I found, it was around few million euros per store. But based on information, what we found that it's going to be cheaper and cheaper. So we found that currently they talking about 500,000 euro per
150, you
100
mean?
square meter. Yes.
Yeah.
For the one implementation. And there are also several companies which are also follow Amazon. There is a IFI, there is a Trigo from Israel, there is a Crude Pick from China. So there are already companies which are hardly working on this concept. And we saw even in this end of this year, several pilots. For example, in Germany, it was a Rewe, which opened in Düsseldorf, I think the first pick and go concept. Also, it was a Tesco. So also the Sainsbury also started with the Amazon concept in the UK. So we see that it's starting to be more popular. I think the price here is issue. It's really impressive, but we have a big investment. So in this moment, this kind of concept, it's still reserved for the big players. So not for the tier 2 and tier 3 retailers.
But if I have
a chance to see somewhere, because I've not traveled in the last year
neither
so
do
much.
I.
And
Yeah.
I know in Germany there is a pick and go. So I cannot wait to see in real life this concept. Yeah.
I didn't experience it yet. I'm sorry for that, because I didn't travel as well, same like you. And in Hamburg, where I'm living in Germany, there are still no installations of that. So I hope, but soon, I think in 4 weeks or something like that, we are traveling to New York, to big retailer show, of course. And there should be a new installation at Starbucks. So Amazon is just cooperating with Starbucks, and they created a very interesting installation, I think at least, in New York. And I will definitely visit it, and I will definitely bring you some video materials and some stories about that. So I'm very open for that. Yes, I see now about GK software. I heard about that. Yes, there is a GK installation, similar installation in their head offices, I think, for the employees. But I think it's not outside of GK environment. I'm not sure. I know that there are some installations, of course, but unfortunately not that near in around Hamburg where I'm living. I hope near. I hope soon. But if we are talking about pick and go, I think there is a so impressive technology inside, lots of sensors and lots of really intelligent stuff. Intelligence means artificial intelligence. And this is something which will be for sure something that we will have in the next year. Milica, tell us a little bit more about AI, artificial intelligence, and what is coming, what is popping up, and what can we expect next year?
Yeah, of course. Well, artificial intelligence, right? They find itself a use in every single industry, right? And what is artificial intelligence, or if I can say AI? It's a new technology that enables complex processes to be automated and to don't have human intervention. And why is it significant? Because it makes faster processes. It's important because today every single industry is dynamic and with more trends, less prone to errors. By that, I mean human errors. It's more efficient and it brings new opportunities. So if we talk about examples, I have one example, really interesting. It's company Fujitsu. I don't know if I could say, but they are our client. So if anyone from Fujitsu watched this, hello. Yeah, right. So I'm not mentioning anyone because of my preferences. I'm just spilling the facts and showing the use of AI in retail. So what the Fujitsu did, they have developed a new solution for a major European hypermarket chain, which indicates on self-service checkouts. That means that customer can scan goods and services without a cashier and to pay, of course. So the main goal here was to decrease frauds and to improve customer experience, which is really, really important nowadays. It's a somehow win-win situation, right? Because for retailers, it means they have reduced costs because of those automated processes. And for customers, it means to have accelerated processes of payment methods. So
Milica, can I just interrupt you for a second?
Yeah,
because let's come to the history. In my previous life, I was involved in the implementation of the self-checkout, and one of the biggest topics that we had at that time point was the product recognition. And I remember that we implemented different scales on the platforms of the self-checkouts on one or another side in order to identify the product. If the customer puts the product on the scale on one side, and not on the another side, I know that somebody stole it. You understand? So the scale was used to identify the product in order to fight the fraud. And nowadays, as I understood you, and this is totally making sense for me, there is an artificial intelligence, maybe related to the scale, maybe to the optical recognition, maybe to some other sensors, which is identifying if really the items that you took from the shelf are really scanned on the self-checkout. Am I right?
Yes.
This is
You
fantastic
are totally
from my
right.
point of view. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. So the frauds are decreasing actually. So you can't just go and steal anything you want. You can't do that, right? Also, there's something interesting when we talk about AI. Roland mentioned earlier, it's cashierless stores. Well, I think it's important to add that cashierless store is a store that physically exists, but it acts as an online store. So it means that there will be no cashier or human at all to check out and bill your product. But what does actually artificial intelligence does there? Artificial intelligence there is to see what do you want to buy, to see customers' behavior in store, to follow customers through the shopping with cameras and sensors. So that's really, really interesting. And I think it's really, really significant today when we talk about retail. Also, as someone who represents Generation Z here today, I must
Can
admit,
you tell us this little bit more again? This is already second time. Come on, I will show you again this guy. You see, 35 years of life experience, okay?
Generation 64.
I'm sorry,
Generation
but
64, yes.
yes, but I'm sorry, really, but you can put that in your shelf. You can't use it anywhere.
Right. You are totally right, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Two generations, what I can say.
True.
So yes, okay, I have one question for you. I have a TikTok. You probably heard. And I want to ask you, do you actually know how fast that network is growing? Roland, Darko, anyone in the comments?
Maybe I can pick up this topic because I'm totally impressed by use of artificial intelligence within TikTok. And I think this is the reason why it's so growing fast. And it's really, really growing fast. And to be honest, I have account as well. So even I'm those old guys generation, I have an account. I'm not really using it, but I'm playing with that. And I think, the TikTokers from today are decision makers from tomorrow. So every company should take care of that as well. So that's why I'm analyzing it. Yes.
That's true. That's totally true. That's why I asked, actually. So here we also have one interesting fact that has to do with AI. You have that page on TikTok where you can scroll videos.
Yeah.
I can show you if you want. It's named For You page.
Yes.
And you can scroll it if you can see it, and you can scroll it, and he suggests you videos for you. Its
Yeah.
its name is For You page. The name tells you what
Yes.
they do. So what about the AI here? The AI here chooses the videos that will be shown to whatever, to everyone, depends on the interests of your
Yes.
own interests. So he suggests videos he thinks that will be interesting for you. So that TikTok flow is amazing for me. I don't know if you can agree with me, but I think that's
Definitely.
totally, yeah.
I'm impressed by the algorithm because you see, you cannot be that, let's say, developing that fast if your algorithm would be wrong. This means that the artificial intelligence behind has a so good algorithm that it's
Yeah.
really almost 100% right. And now, can you imagine this algorithm, let's say, used to sell the products? Can you imagine if you are using it?
That's my point here. So that's my point here. Actually, TikTok is a trend that will be even more popular in 2022, 2023, and so on furthermore. So I think that it will find its way to every single retailer, because technology is developing daily, and anyone who stays outdated technology loses a battle. The greatest benefits are yet to come. For example, TikTok sales, as you just mentioned. So then you will have AI that will decide which product will be shown to you by your interest, which is really incredible, right?
Unbelievable. Yes.
You won't have to lose your time anymore. That's totally, amazing.
Maybe I can ask the audience in the moment to comment if they are using TikTok as well. This would be especially the guys that answered and recognized the floppy disk drive. So maybe you can write in the comment, do you use TikTok? And are you fascinating with that algorithm as I am? So because I'm technical guy and I'm really fascinated by that algorithm.
Yeah, we
TikTok
have
has
a
a
comment.
lot of data, and AI, yes, needs data for absolutely. And this is so powerful from my point of view.
Yeah, we have also one interesting comment from Gregory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Physical
Just a
meaning.
second.
Yes.
There are
Yes.
lots of reasons, definitely.
Yeah.
And
This is
yeah,
one of them. This is one of them. Yeah.
I think, Gregors, you are totally right. So there are several reasons why some products are maybe better sold than others. And sometimes it's related to the product itself, to the item itself, sometimes to the position, sometimes to the marketing topics, let's say, I mean, visibility and all this kind of stuff. But can you imagine, guys, if you combine, let's say, this high sophisticated artificial intelligence algorithms with those experiences that and the quantities of the users that TikTok has, this will be exploding from my point of view. So this is definitely the fifth trend that we see, and this is so-called social commerce. And maybe I can give you some words about that. Social commerce, what do we understand as social commerce? Unfortunately, today there are two worlds. There is a, let's say, e-commerce world, and there is a social network world. But this is true in the more Western and European and US world, let's say. In Asia, you see already that the both worlds, means e-commerce and social networks, are getting together. So this means you can use your social network, you can check your products, you can order them and everything without leaving the social network. And this is the truly social commerce. And I see there are lots of advantages, let's say, for the retailer if they can use this kind of social commerce additionally. And I'm expecting next year a big trend in that area as well. And now if you combine, let's say, AI, sophisticated algorithms, and one universe, one ecosystem for them, this would be great. On the other side, we have to think about disadvantages, because now we will have additional sales channel. And we are talking now about real omni-channel, and even more, we are talking about jungle of channels. So, and to implement all those systems, to integrate with each other, this will be a huge advantage. This will definitely change e-commerce world, but it will change the POS world as well. We will see what will happen, but I am expecting this as a big trend next year. And even more. Sorry, yes, please.
I just want to add that challenge in 2022 will be how to fiscalize TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't talk about that, but this is really point. This is a really huge point. No, just a second. Christian is writing, no, actually felt too old for... You are not too old for TikTok.
I must add, we are never too old for anything to try, right? I mean, look, social media.
I have 4 children, and all of them are in teenage age. So they are between 20 and or the youngest one is 16. So this is that TikTok age somehow. And a couple of years ago, I told them, guys, I have a TikTok account. They wanted to kill me. What? No, why are you doing that? What? My friends will kill me and so on. Nowadays, just 2 years later, they ask me, hey, Dad, why don't you have TikTok account? So you see, suddenly, just 2 years later, everything is changing. So that's why you are never too old to start using the social networks. And guys, you don't have other chance because the world will move. So either you move with the world or you stuck somewhere and that's it. Yeah. TikTok algorithm is so successful that I had to delete the app. Yeah, this could be misunderstood as well. So, but yes, I understand you. And this is the point. The people are spending lots of time because the algorithm is doing so good job that they are spending hours and hours in TikTok. And the retailers are now jumping on the train. They see that. If you are spending 5 hours playing with the videos, why not putting the link in the video to buy the next item? And this is my next point. Let's talk about live commerce. Happy to hear that you are referring to social commerce in Asia. Yes, and by the way, we met in China. Nice to meet you again. That's great. Yes, several years ago, 2019, we were there, and the trends that we are talking now about started or were already mature at that time point in China. So my favorite country in relation to the trends, retail trends, is China, definitely. And we will talk a little bit later more about that. So let's go a little bit to the, you too, yes, you see. Let's go a little bit more to the live commerce. So this is the trend number 7 that we see, or number 6, sorry. Yes, live commerce. What does it mean? Actually, live commerce means following. You could buy this device just now in this moment. So look at this. This device, it's so beautiful. There are so many people watching it. And if I put the link now in this video over there, you could click, there is it. And you could maybe spend just 9,999 euro to buy this Commodore. You see? But trust me, this is just fake. So it's it's not real. And of course, it will be definitely too expensive. But this is live commerce. Live commerce means using social commerce, live streaming platform to sell the goods. This is live commerce. And this is additional channel that I see. And I'm totally sure that this will explode in the next year as well. And we see the explosion in Asia and especially in China as well. But let's think about what will happen if the retailers jump on this train. They have to do several things. One thing is, for example, marketing strategy. Marketing strategy has definitely to be adopted to that. They have to change the infrastructure of the stores, because if you want to invite the influencers in your store to present your products during the live streams, you have to give him environment for that. You have to give him technology like VLAN, Wi-Fi, internet access, or whatever. And you need, of course, the environment like in the shopping window. And you have to change it from time to time, otherwise it will get boring. So you have to create totally new areas in the store where in those areas, those influencers can go and can present, of course, the products. So this means it's not just Live commerce, I'm at home and I'm presenting something. It's not teleshopping. It's much, much more. And the retailers will change as well. They will adopt because the numbers are absolutely genius. They are really, really big, and turnover that they can create are really, really huge. So this is what I'm expecting. So I was just talking about the jungle means so many of different channels to sell the items. And now I have to add on top something else, which I see that it's coming as a trend. And this is so-called virtual reality, but not as we understood it in the past, more related to the new version of internet called metaverse. If we will have tomorrow metaverse, this will open the totally new channels for the sales and for the technologies and for everything. Part of those technology we already have. We have already virtual reality glasses to enjoy the virtual reality. We have the sensors which you can put on your body to feel the virtual reality. So we have lots of things. And we have one point which is very important. And I would like to invite you to see the next or to meet, let's say, some of the virtual influencers, which will explode in the metaverse. Let me introduce you some of them. Just let me show you a small video. Please enjoy it.
Michaela, a virtual influencer with 3 million Instagram followers. She's worked with popular fashion brands like Calvin Klein and Prada.
Everything seemed unimaginable when I was just a few lines of code. I love creating new things, achieving the impossible. That's what being part of Team Galaxy is all about. Team Galaxy. Do what you can't.
Shudu is a digital supermodel. She is a very, very glamorous and amazing woman, but she is 3D.
Meet Aypera. She's Turkey's first CGI actor, and she just signed a movie contract with one of Turkey's most famous movie producers.
Rosie Oh is not only the first virtual influencer in South Korea, but also the hottest model in the advertising world right now. And this time, she's been selected as an exclusive model for Young Casual brand. The fashion brand said Rosie's lively image and modern lifestyle perfectly match the brand image and characteristics of targeted customers.
Did you see that? These guys are real. It's like a real life. There is no difference. So if I see the picture on Instagram, I don't recognize if it's 3D model means virtual reality or if it's real. I am really, really, really impressed. What do you think about that?
Can I share my thoughts right now?
Please, yes, go on.
Maybe I came across one of them on the Instagram and I didn't even know that they are actually virtual influencers and not real people.
Yes, this is unbelievable.
Yes, I don't have words actually.
So now imagine, so this is definitely something which will even explode, I think, in the context of metaverse, because these guys are living already in metaverse, let's say, and tomorrow, next year, maybe, probably, you will be able to visit them. Unbelievable. So just let me give you an information that I forgot and I wanted to give you regarding the live streaming. I have information that YouTube is just now piloting live streaming in US, and the pilots are really, really successful, and they should introduce this functionality, means that you are able to buy during the live streams products and so on already before Christmas. So guys, this is already this year happening. Unbelievable. So Great. I'm I'm really impressed by those guys and those technologies. But let's talk now about a little bit more about retail concepts and about um, trends within the retailing itself, because the traditional B2C, B2B, and so on concepts in retail are changing as well. And there is a big trend that will happen definitely this year, even now, already started, and the next year for sure. Milice, tell us more about M2C.
Yes. Trend number 8, M2C. It's
Yes.
manufacturer to consumer. That means the abbreviation. M2C. It's actually a business model where the manufacturers provide the products and services for the consumer, and by that, he reduces the circulation and reduce the costs of sale to protect the quality of goods and services. So, for example, here we came to China. I love them
Again,
for real. Yeah, I really love them. Same as you, Darko. Um,
definitely.
so, yeah, I don't know if you have heard about Shein. Did you?
I have 4 children, and all of them are teenager age. So ask me again, please.
Okay, okay. That's okay. Thank you, thank you.
But
So,
let's ask our audience. Do you
yeah,
know who is Shein? Please
Shein,
comment if you know Shein.
but it's one word. Shein,
Yes.
Shein. Yeah. If you did, please let us know. So that's actually a Chinese online fashion retailer, which is well known for their low prices, which is incredible, right? So what they do actually, they are following the trends. For example, TikTok is one advanced platform and followed by a lot of today's and tomorrow's decision makers, as you, Darko, already said. It's a platform where trends are coming, but also passing at the speed of the light. So by that, I mean trends in every single industry. So in the fashion industry, right? Shein recognized that. So when something is in trend now, but it won't be for too long, they produce those products and sell them all around the globe, as long as the trend lasts. So they are reducing circulation. They actually don't produce like million pairs of jeans and then don't know what to do with the surplus. No, they don't do that. They produce something and that lasts as long as the trend lasts. This is great. So I think that once when it's recognized in the Europe, it will become a trend and stay for a long time. And also something really important to say, I think they threaten many big fashion retailers. So fashion retailers must follow their customers, right? So I have one picture here for you that I prepared. In the US fast fashion market, you can see it here now. In the US fast fashion market, Shein's market share jumped from 7% in January 2020 to nearly 30% in June. So as of June 60, Shein comprised 28% of US fast fashion sales, surpassing H&M, which has 20%, Zara, which has
Unbelievable.
11%. Yeah,
In just 6 months, more or less, right?
yeah, it's less than 6 months. Forever 21, they have 10%, and Fashion Nova that has about 8%, right? So that's what report indicates. So the company made up about 13% of the total fast fashion industry sales at the beginning of 2021. Imagine what will happen next year in
Yeah.
2022. That's crazy.
Yeah, and again,
So
small real life story. So my daughters, I have 2 daughters, they are ordering in Germany Shein products, and some months ago, I think they were not really happy about that because they told me, yeah, they are cheap, that's good, they're not expensive, and the delivery is very fast, but the quality is not that good. Now, several months later, I asked them again, what about the quality? And they told me it's okay, it's getting better. So this
yeah,
means that the manufacturers are improving, And I think it's it's a dramatically becoming trend. And I think Yoon is just telling it right. It's a getting trend and getting the speed, same like TikTok as well. Yes, it's even related to TikTok and the trends on the TikTok.
Yeah, that's crazy. Really, it's crazy how they can go fast growing, and it's in a couple of months. And we had here one comment: Shein has grown very, very popular thanks to TikTok. Yes, there is a big connection, because we already told that TikTok has today's and tomorrow's decision makers. And if they make a decision to buy in Shein, that will be tomorrow trend, and we can go.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see what the big brands like H&M and so on will do, because this is really problematical for them. They have to adapt. If I remember right, they have teams which are creating the new lines of the fashion items and so on several months in advance, and even sometimes even 1 year or even longer in advance, and they are producing on stock and so on. So I think it's not working anymore. Definitely not.
And you know what is also interesting? They were creating trends until now, and now they don't. So this is why Shein threatened them. So I think they should look like a little bit to Shein, you know.
Yeah, sure. They have to change the model, the business model. This is a huge change, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But good. Let's move to the next trend, because we discussed now lots of things related to the e-commerce, to the social commerce, live commerce, M2C, which is related somehow to internet as well. But what about deliveries? Because if you are not able to deliver, if you need years and months to deliver even fashion items from Shein, it will not be interesting. Roland, tell us a little bit more about the trend. Sorry, I jumped over into one. Oh, sorry for that. The last one will be delivery. Okay, sorry. Milica, you should tell me that. Yes, again, we are back to China again, and we have something which is already coming from China and taking lots of, let's say, interest and creating lots of interest in other parts of the world. It's community group buying. Several years ago, we had this story already, especially in Germany, but this was different. And maybe, Milica, you can give us some words about that, because this is also the way how the end user can save the money. And please, go on. Let us inform a little bit more about that.
That's China, right?
Again, sorry.
How they come up with all those ideas? How? What do you people do?
Yeah.
So what is actually the community group buying? It is a group of people who buy groceries together. So this is in the context of food, which is really, really important to remember. So it's a group of people who buy groceries together within the same settlement, or if I could say compound, to get discounts. So this one is more focused on the user's location, which is really, really important to mention. So group of people who are buying groceries together to get discounts, and they live in one compound or same settlement. So is this applicable to the West? That is really important question to ask ourselves. I think it is, but there are differences in relation to China. For example, consumer behavior is different. So I think that Americans are a little bit more pickier. And also there in America, in every city, there is usually a Walmart or a Stop and Shop within 15 minutes drive. So also the quality of those goods and services is sufficient, and the prices are okay. So this is something that is different than in China. So I think if we want this in the West, we must understand the community. That's the first step. And the community can be broadly defined as people who have the similar interests. So then we can establish the supply chain mechanism. In China, this is really, really popular. It's more popular than in the rest of the planet, and it gets even more popular. They even created new business processes based on those community group buying. So e-commerce giant Pinduoduo, if I said right, I'm not sure. This is how is okay. Pinduoduo was built on group purchases. So the company offered low prices to teams of online buyers, and that encouraged consumers to recruit friends and family to buy together. So I don't know, but I always think about it that China is always one step ahead, or even 2 or 3 steps ahead. And everything they bring sooner or later comes to the Europe and to America in some form, right? So I believe that this trend will be increased in 2022 in Europe and in the rest of the planet also. This whole virus situation orientated us to buy via internet, without going in store. And honestly, as a woman, I always look for some new clothes and I always look how to pay less customs, right? So I think this is the solution. This would be great if could be applied to fashion retailers as well, because I mentioned at the beginning that this is only for food. So I would be amazed if this could be applied to fashion retailers.
I'm sure that this will happen, because if you now, let's say, combine the M2C concept and the concept of the, let's say, community group buying,
yes,
you have the winning concept, winning situation. And I'm expecting that this will happen next year, definitely, because the pandemic situation will be not solved from my point of view. This means that all those trends will be even more digitalized and pushed in that direction. So I think this will definitely happen next year.
Do you realize how there is connection between every single trend that we mentioned today?
Yeah, true. There is a connection, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And let's come to the last point. That is the 10th.
Which is also connected.
Yes, and this is definitely connected because it's ending point somehow, and it's related to the logistic. There is no retail without proper logistics, so it's crucial for the retailers. Roland, give us some words about logistical trends.
Yes. So as we can see, on one side we have a e-commerce booming and social networks and everything. So it's a huge amount of customers which want to buy something, and then you need to deliver. And on the other side, we have clear request to have a shorter and shorter delivery. So you can imagine this generation Z, they don't want to wait so much. Yeah, they want to have product immediately. So that's why the optimization of the shipment is a definitive trend. I think it will be trending in the next years. So if we're talking about optimization of shipment, we can see many interesting scenarios and innovation on horizon, like using the drones, for example, using autonomous robots, autonomous vehicles on one side. And also we can see that more and more specialized companies who want to go green, to use bikes, to invest in organization, they provide a very quick delivery in a very urban area. So we see the booming of the companies like Glovo, Volt, Gorillas. So did you know, Darko, that, for example, the Gorilla was I think the best startup in Germany, I think, all time. They collect almost, I think, more than 1 billion euro in less than a year. Yeah.
Yeah, I read about that. So these guys are unbelievable. I love them. So this is a great business concept, and they've done it really, really good. They've done it in the right moment, on the right way. So top from my point of view.
Yes. So they offer a 10 minutes delivery on the website. It's really good time, and I think it is good because they also give a breadth to small retailers, because if you don't have a power of and strength to invest so much in technology, you can use companies like these in order to have a quick delivery for the cheap money and really be near to customer. Yeah. So it's definitely trend how to deliver very quick, and also it's very logical. If you have a lot of delivery, then of course there are a lot of returns. I try to investigate and find out that it's about 10% of all delivery will have a return. So actually, it's a lot of return is also happening, and also I think it will be in the near future. It will also invest how to solve so much returns for organizational point of view and also from the shipping point of view.
Maybe I can give you a small story about the returns because, to be honest, I hate returns. I told you I have 4 children, and
Everyone
all of
hates
them,
returns.
every minute, of course, and all of them are ordering online, of course. And if they are ordering online, they are not ordering one item. They are usually ordering several sizes of the same item because maybe the shoes in one size are not fitting them. So they order one size smaller and one size bigger. So this means if they want to buy shoes, they buy 3 items or 3 products from the same shoe, but the different sizes, of course. So this means they will keep maybe one, probably, but 2 of those boxes they have to ship away, to ship back, to return. And now, if I multiply this by 4, and my wife and me as well, so this means by 6, can you imagine how many returns my household has during the week? There is somebody. Oh, I'm just going to the DHL office to send back the goods. So this is definitely business case. So if somebody out there would like to produce a kind of app so that I can just scan the box and print out the document immediately without going to different manufacturers and shops and so on, this would be, I don't know, number 1 app in Germany for sure, and maybe even worldwide. So
I found one company who is specialized exactly for this. They offer returns for retailers. So it's an interesting concept. Yeah.
I have to check this because this is a huge problem, at least on my side. Yeah. So I don't know what about you, but I think this is a problem in Europe and in US for sure. Okay. So guys, so we are coming to the end. We just discussed 10 unbelievably interesting, from my point of view, trends that we can expect next year and that the companies and our customers are already now asking us about. We discussed a little bit technologies and we discussed a little bit what we think that it will come next year. Let's see what really will be there, but I think these topics are almost reality. In the meantime, I would like to invite all of you to follow us on our social network sites, LinkedIn, for example. Just follow us over there. I want to invite you to our next Fiscal News Network show. This will be on the 16th of December, and we will inform you there about all news which are just happening in the last 3 months around the world related to the fiscal topics. So I think this is very important for the technological guys among you. And of course, let me invite you again to our next live event on 21st. December, of course, we will discuss then the fiscal devices and the challenges related to the fiscal devices. Milica, thank you very much for the time with you.
Thank you so much. I had great time.
Roland, thank you too. It was great, as always.
We will see you next time in 2 weeks, yeah?
In 2 weeks, we discuss again interesting topics. See you all in 2 weeks. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.